Alright, so how come you assholes didn't tell me that that I accidentally fucking said Lily's name spelt wrong in the fucking episode titles? See, here's the thing. I'm aware that it's meant to have two L's, but my eyes are very bad. So, like, I thought it had two L's. You know what I mean? If it ain't my brain, it's my eyes, and vice versa. So, this whole time I thought it was fine. Apparently it wasn't. And now we're here. God damn it. I hate all of you. Maybe you guys also didn't notice because your eyes also don't work well, or you just fucking hate me. The loud clatter of books falling into the return slot abruptly breaks the grip of silence over the school library. It's become a habit of me to come to the library at least once a week. Not only does the reading itself keep me busy, but discussing books with Hanako and Lilly also does. Obviously startled, because that happens a lot, Yuko suddenly twists toward the direction of the noise. I'd have thought her used to people dropping books by now, but... I mean, since she works here, but apparently not. Oh, hello, Hisao. Back again? Of course. It takes me a moment to respond. My mind still distracted by the familiar melody of Lily's humming that's hardly left my ears in several days it's been since I fell asleep to it. Oh yeah, just returning some books I borrowed. She casts her eyes downward, presumably toward the bin the books dropped into. You're a very heavy reader, aren't you? It's become a bit of a routine now. You know, pass the time at least. I wish I had free time to pass. God, that sounded so sad. From small talk to depression. In less than 5 seconds. I think that's a new record for her. She seems a bit down in general today, even compared to normal. Considering she has to work 2 jobs just to support herself. I could see how that would take a toll on her lifestyle. Come to think of it, the pay for her job here can't be all that bad. The idea of staff in such a prestigious private school going hungry strikes me as counterintuitive. Working 2 jobs must take a lot of time. I'd probably never manage it. You're lucky being a student. Do you think you'll be able to go to university? If she's asking, then I guess that's the expected result of having this kind of education. Private schools like this don't exactly come cheap. I guess I have money, I think. He thinks. I got plans, which will require going to one, and my grades are good enough. It's more a matter of how I'll pay to do so, as it usually is. University costs so much that I'm having to work 2 jobs to afford to enter it. Paying for daily expenses too makes it a lot harder. Welcome to the education system. Even if you're reading this much, though, that means you're doing well in school, right? Interesting, interesting logical jump. Not an altogether wrong one, though. I suppose. I didn't find any of the exams very hard, aside from maybe like 1 or 2. Do you mind if I ask what studies you're pursuing in university? Yuko appears to genuinely brighten at the question. Anthropology. To be specific, I'm specializing in the history of classical era Anthian civilization and democracy. She really seems to know her stuff. Such enthusiasm is to be admired, and it's nice to see her genuinely excited about something. For once. I guess even somebody like Yuko can be happy if she has a visible road ahead of her. That's good to... Oh my god, what the shit blizzard? What the hell did I say? Hold on. That's good to hear if you, line. Both of us jump at the sudden interruption coming from my pocket. Apologizing profusely and quickly shuffling into the hallway as I fumble with the cover on my mobile phone, I glance at the screen. Weird. It's a number I don't recognize. Oh, don't answer it then. I never answer the numbers I don't recognize. I can count the number of people with the number. Considering I can count the number of people with my number on my hand, one singular hand, I briefly wonder whether it's some telemarketer that lucked out. Hello? Hasai Nakai speaking. What do you want? Geez, pick up faster next time. Anyway, guess who? I don't know, your question marks. It only takes me a second to recognize the distinctively deep brew-esque voice of Misha. That was Misha. Geez, pick up faster next time. Anyway, guess who? How's that? Is that better? Hey, Misha, didn't expect you to call me. Ever. It said deep voice. It didn't make any sense to me. Whatever. Huh? You actually think I sound like her? Not at all, Akira. I don't remember giving you my number, though, so I thought I'd mess with you. Because when I read deep, brew-esque voice, I was like, I don't think that's Misha at all, but I'm playing along with you, game, wherever you're leading, and this is where it led me. Oh, that? I got Lilly to give it to me. Not that hard. She positively beams with pride at the statement. She's trying to get me caught up in her pace, I know it. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised that the two would share my number, though, given how close they are. So, what's up? You're free right now, right? I guess. Why? What do you want with me? Don't kill me. Could you meet me at the park in town? I just want to talk to you about some stuff. Uh-oh. Is that an invitation to a date? Oh my god, I hate. What? Of course not. She sounds suddenly crestfallen, her previous teasing nature having instantaneously left. It seems strange for her. Dude, that means some serious shit's going on. Anyway, I don't see why not. Where do you want to meet? Or when? Kind of now-ish. Wait, right now? But it's... A dead silence suddenly coming from the phone announces the fact that she has unceremoniously hung up. Well, for a long time I just stand there staring at the call ended message on the screen while replaying the conversation in my head. What the hell, Akira? I are concerned. Throwing a glance up and down the street, I cross the road and step into the park. I've learned to pace myself on such walks so my heart doesn't fucking explode. Mostly because Lily's slower speed during our forays into town means that I have to consciously slow myself down. That aside, I hope Akira didn't expect me to be immediately prompt. I hope not. Oh, what a handsome woman. God damn it. It takes only a couple of seconds to spot her, waiting on a bench with a can of beer in her hand. Is this legal? The look she gave me as I walk up lacks any hint of acknowledgement or greeting. What's with that look? I needn't have come, you know. I knew you would. You're that kind of person, after all. Oh, I lower my brow at her remark as she disposes the can, emptied by the time I arrived, and a metallic clank clatter rings out. Akira takes a seat on the old wooden bench, and I follow her lead. She takes another can of beer from beside her and opens it before speaking, taking a rather large gulp. She seems to really like that stuff. I suppose I don't need to ask what this is about, or rather who it's about. It's like, of course. I've heard from Lilly that you asked about our family. They share more than phone numbers, that's for sure. I'd probably be very worried right now if it weren't for the total lack of malice in her voice. Rather, her tone sounds almost wistful. Idle curiosity, mostly. I have to admit, I'd never have guessed you two were half Scottish. Half me-ish, in fact. She gives a wry chuckle of amusement. I've heard that before. Trust me. The small smile falls from her face, her eyes looking ahead distantly. Aside from the occasional elderly couple talking as they slowly walk the meandering paths, the old aging car, it's pleasantly quiet. She didn't tell you everything, though, did she? It was pretty brief. Your parents live in Scotland. She hasn't met them since she was 12, and she wants to meet them again. It's always surprised me how devoted she is to our parents for all the good they did us. Jesus, the way she says it almost sounds derisive. She gives a small sigh as if to quickly brush the feelings away. Why do you think they left, Hisao? Why do I think they left? Well, from what Lilly told me, it was because of work. I guess a pretty decently paying job was involved as well, given the way your parents seem to live. So Lilly went to a private school, and that's why she carries herself with the airs and graces of the upper class. Yeah, since the business in Inverness boomed, our father decided to move directly to the same city as its headquarters. That's just the conclusion I thought you'd come to, though. You're too good-natured. You don't think they left for their career? I'm sitting here bitching to you about it. What do you think? Yamaku Academy. I've always felt that place was kind of creepy. Like it was an isolated hideaway for those proper society doesn't want you to see or hear. They probably just rue the fact that Lilly wasn't old enough to be shoved there by the time they left. A long silence follows her abrupt and very harsh criticism of her own parents and Yamaku. Lily's blindness is hardly something that could be simply ignored for a high-class family attempting to keep up appearances, much less so when a lucrative offer is on the table. Eventually, Akira gives a derisive snort and her feelings coming to a head. Moving to secure our financial future with his new job posting. Even at the time, I hardly believed it. Not wanting to simply be an avenue for her venting, I gently try to steer the discussion. So you stayed in Japan with Lilly then? Either I stayed with her or she went to live with an ailing grandmother and grandfather. What about Shizune's family? If you're cousins, then our fathers hate each other. I'd have been more happy to tell them to go screw themselves and live with them anyway, but Lilly wouldn't have wanted that. I'd also had an offer for a job by then, so we did our best to keep our parents' house in proper shape and tried to continue our lives as if they'd never left. So you just lived by yourselves? Basically, Lilly had school and I had a job, so we weren't exactly languishing. With her schooling, her study, and having to do chores while I worked, though, I can't help feeling that I failed her. In the end, I tried to be there for her and screwed it up. Aw, expecting a 19-year-old to be a mother for a blind child? It's ridiculous. So Lilly and Akira lived alone after their parents moved, with Lilly largely taking care of herself. I guess that explains her apparent independence compared to many in Yamaku. Yeah, she's been doing just fine. I may have lived alone much of the time since my parents both worked, but that's just something else entirely. Well, we weren't blind. Sorry for making you listen to my moaning, Hisao. I don't mind at all, but do you mind if I ask why you're telling me all this? You always were curious. Context, I suppose. Life isn't a fairy tale, Hisao. Some people have to learn that the hard way. That's fucking true. She takes a long drink from the can in her hand, and her face becoming more depressed than distant. I broke up with my boyfriend a few days ago. Oh, after I leave, we're not going to be able to see each other again. But that's how life is. You can't just set up your life and expect it to stay that way forever. Sometimes stuff happens that you just gotta roll with, even if it means hurting yourself or others. Oh man, this is too deep. She takes a long breath before looking up at the bright orange sky. Damn. If I smoked, I could take a nice long drag right about now and kinda look cool. I want to respond to help her in whatever way I can, but I feel utterly useless. This kind of situation is one I've never been in, and I simply don't have the experience to say anything meaningful to comfort her. Akira looks over and evidently picks up on this, much to my embarrassment. I must look pretty pathetic right now, whining about this to someone I barely know. Hardly. And I'm pretty much an expert on looking pathetic. She gives a chuckle, the act feeling like a personal victory for me. You're a good kid, Hisao. When I said that I approved you of being with my sister, I wasn't joking or just being nice. Oh, she picks herself up off the seat with a grunt, one that seems ill-fitting given her age, and throws the now empty can into the bin after one last swig. It's just unfortunate that doesn't really count for much in this world. Oh my god. When I said I was leaving for Scotland, I was doing it because a good position opened up in our company's headquarters. When our folks told me that when we were at their place, though, they also gave Lilly a summons to rejoin them in Inverness. Oh, yeah, I had a feeling this is where this was going. No way. Her evasiveness when asked about her future, that awkwardness that had steadily grown between us, that uncharacteristic outburst of anger, all of them suddenly fit into place. It all was very like he said, it all just definitely connected to be that conclusion. The same family that she reminisced about after Hanako's birthday party. This family that left her and Akira to themselves after taking flight to greener pastures. Now I feel stupid for never cornering Lilly on what was bugging her. I'd never even considered if something had happened during our trip to her family's home at Inverness. And now, a sense of unease grows in my chest. If her family has summoned her to join them in Scotland, all the way on the other side of the earth, has she accepted? Lilly hasn't told me whether she plans to accept it, and it seems she hasn't told you either. That's why I called you down here to talk, Hisao. Context, huh? I sit back, my feelings of worry and frustration no doubt written all over my face. Lilly's a strong person, Hisao, but she's not infallible. I guess it's my job to worry about her, being her older sister, but I think that you deserve to know. I kinda do. I understand. You okay? You sound depressed. No, just thinking. That's good. Thinking's good. Being rash won't get you anywhere. She looks at her watch, barely moving her wrist. Well, I gotta go. Will you be okay? I'll be fine, don't worry. I'll have to talk to Lilly about it and hopefully get everything sorted out. She gives a smile, but it doesn't feel all that genuine or sincere. Really, both of us are dancing around the fact that Lily's on the precipice of the biggest decision of her life and is trying to take the entire burden on herself. And part of that burden is the matter of our relationship. That's probably a very big part. By the time I look up, Akira's already walking off with her hand held up. For the first time in a long while, I finally have an answer for something. Perhaps not even that, but at least I know I have the right question to ask. Will you leave or stay? Oh boy. Hopefully my decisions will impact this. Oh, that's probably what the decisions are, right? Like the good end's probably like she stays, and the bad end is she leaves. feels real bad. But yeah, that was with the whole like her parents in Scotland thing and the I had a feeling this would happen at some point. I just didn't. I don't know. Hurry, Lilly! Lilly! I'm moving as fast as I can. I can barely make out Lily's voice over the deafening pouring of the rain. Even though I dislike pulling her around, the situation calls for it. Pick her up! I turn forward. My free hand over my head in a futile attempt to at least keep my hair dry. Nah, fuck that. My vision seems to be in grayscale. This really is rotten weather for summer. And the last kind of climate I'd want for a date. A pity. I'd even checked the weather forecast beforehand. One of the very few times I've ever done so, only for it to say that Sunday afternoon would be fine. Yeah? Well, don't trust fucking weather reporters. Looking to Lilly, her shoulders are by now completely drenched, with her right hand holding tightly to mine, and her left gripping her retracted cane. This horrid downpour came on just as we were between our destination and Yamaku, so we decided to try rushing the rest of the distance rather than doubling back. Entirely unused to running this fast, Lily's using all her concentration just to avoid tripping over. Isao, do you know where we're going? No! Even she's reduced to shouting to try and be heard over the combined noise of the wind and rain. The shat! The rest of my voice is completely drowned out by an even heavier burst of rain. The what? The Shanghai! What? How far is it? It shouldn't be far now! Oh, thank God. We just... It doesn't take long before I call out to her once again. It looks like we're safe. It's just up ahead. I quickly pull up to a stop just in front of the familiar exterior, the lantern outside still giving off its reliable glow, and wait for Lilly to catch her breath before going in. Ladies first. Whereas we're just completely drenched. The tiny bell inside rings out when I hold open the door for her, a smile and a polite nod being my reward before entering myself. Ugh, man, we're gonna make this establishment wet as fuck. What with our, well, entirely wet selves and wet clothes. And as I step in beside her and wipe my feet, only a quick glance is necessary to notice the distinct lack of activity. Who's gonna go to the tea shop on a super rainy-ass day? The Shanghai doesn't seem to get that much in the way of patronage, and today is no different. Only a couple of tables are occupied. I guess those people do. Summoned by the bells ringing, a most expected person comes to greet us. I like that. The most expected person. Welcome to the Shanghai. Yuko looks chipper today. Trying to predict her moods is pretty hard, but it's a nice change from the norm. Hello, Yuko. Hey. Good afternoon, you two. What the fuck was that? She takes a deep bow, somewhat taken aback, as she rights herself again and gets a better look at us. What happened to you? You both look... Her eyes drift toward the glass of the door behind us. Oh dear. You just noticed it was like pouring ass rain? What about the sound on the roof? Oh, we're inside now, at least. I think that's the most important thing. It's nice and cozy. You're lucky to be working inside today. It has been nice and quiet. I like days like this. Oh, wait, sorry. Is there anything you'd like? French vanilla tea, please. I'll have the same. Right, coming right up. French vanilla tea. She quickly skitters off with a determined look on her face, trying very hard not to forget our orders. If nothing else, she is at least dedicated to her jobs. Let's sit our wet asses down on this at this fucking table. I lead Lilly to an empty seat before the two of us settle down. As usual, there's a large difference between my exhausted flopping down into my seat and Lily's delicate sliding into hers, her cane set beside her. Two sides of the same coin, really. For a while, I just idly watched the rain falling outside. The occasional person runs down the street trying to stay dry as possible, hands often tightly gripping a rain-soaked umbrella. Lily sits just as quietly as I, her eyes closed as she intently listens to all that's happening. Dude, I bet you, like, she hears the rain, and it's, like, way better than us, so, like, it's, like, way more calming. Unless she hates the fucking rain. Like, for me, rain is super relaxing, especially if it's on, like a tinny roof or something. I don't know. It's a comfortable, relaxing silence that exists between us. Just the type that we'd so often shared together in the past months. For Lily, at least. I can't help replaying the words of her sister in my mind. Oh no, the music. At times, contrasting them to both our time spent together since I entered Yamaku, and to the way we've been since we started dating. No matter how much I try, I can't work Lily out. It's as if the harder I try to second-guess her emotions and her potential decision, the more difficult it becomes to reach a clear conclusion. Makes me doubt whether I'd really ever understood her. In the end, I'm going to have to ask, even though I very much want to not do that. You seem quiet today, Hisao. Really? More quiet than usual? You seem so enthusiastic about taking me on a date. I'd assumed you had something specific you wanted to do. Not really. I just wanted to spend some time with you before the sad happens. Is that so? Okay, fine. There was one thing. A little grin finds its way onto Lily's face, her knowing full well that she's bested me. It makes what I want to say all the more awkward. It's just, Akira and I were, talking. Oh? What's with that tone? Goddamn. You two do seem to get on well, don't you? Well, I think she's a cool person to talk with. It'd be nice if any of the teachers were anything like her. Cool. For a moment, I try to place her tone of voice, my mouth curling into a smirk as I realize it. You're not jealous, are you? I'm not jealous. After her teasing me over such a thing on our first date, I don't feel too bad having a little laugh at her expense this time around. I wouldn't mind dating your sister. Oh my god, no. In fact, I did even say that. I was like, when are we going on a date? Yeah. As we settle down, though, it's only a minor distraction from the real point of why I brought Lily here. Don't worry, it was just mostly everyday stuff. That said, there was something Akira mentioned that I wanted to talk to you about. When you went to see your family in Inverness a while back, she said, Akira told you about my family's summons, hasn't she? Well, seconds tick by while I try to read Lily's face, an odd mixture of feelings written on it. She seems annoyed, but also somewhat confused. Yuko, no. Here. Yuko tentatively slides our drinks onto the table, her presence oddly small. Just as she walks back to the counter after a quick polite nod, I realize the air between me and Lily is thick, and our expressions are both somewhat pensive. Even though she says I should lead my own life, she still interferes at the worst times. I don't think you should blame Akira here. She's just looking out for you. And it's not like I can't understand her concern over this. Lily's irritation gives way to an awkward and largely unsuccessful attempt to mask her feelings. She really doesn't deal well with being cornered on on personal topics. I know, but I just wanted some more time. I knew you'd have figured it out eventually, but you were intentionally hiding this from me? For how long were you planning to do so? Until the very last second? As I said, I simply wanted more time to think it through. I wanted to be sure of my decision before telling you. What did you decide to do in the end? I know what I want her to say, but an awful feeling refuses to leave my gut. My family does dearly want me to return to them, and Akira will be going as well. I could still teach as a career, whether it be here or there. So, you're going. She didn't say that just yet. Hold on. How long have you known? I already know you were asked when you first went to Scotland about a month ago. Some time. Well, shit. My frustration very nearly boils over. The fact that she's done this affects me more than it should. For her to not only be leaving, but to have been actively hiding her own plans from me, and after seeming for so long to be the one solid pillar of support and reliability I could depend on, it feels as if the foundation underneath me is suddenly shifting drastically, much faster than I can adapt to. Perhaps this isn't so much frustration as sheer unease. Lily, I'm sorry. I wanted to think through this completely. I wasn't trying to take advantage of you. Please. Lily, I know. Shh. I know. This is just... It's just really sudden. I guess this means that once you go, we'll be breaking up. For one of the few times I've seen since I met her, she genuinely lost for words. She doesn't look surprised, no doubt because the fact had dawned on her once she became sure of her decision, but rather, she appears genuinely unsure of how to deal with the situation now that it's in front of her. We could try pursuing a long-distance relationship. They're getting more and more common these days, after all. They can work. Sometimes they can't, though. Sad days. Even as she says it, the tone in her voice gives way to that she truly doesn't believe what she's saying. Lily's far too old-fashioned to be able to cope with a relationship without any kind of physical presence, and even I am, to an extent. All we ever would be to each other would be a voice from the other side of the world. In the end, trying to rationalize everything is just futile. Any attempts to try and connect what's happening with the future or past just seem to get more difficult with the more I can concentrate. Dude, not to mention, time zones are completely different as well. Those quiet moments when we just walked side by side, the precious time we spent with Hanako and Akira, the casual chatter we had during lunch times. The times we made love, the confessions of our feelings for each other. All pointless. All just a fleeting moment in our young lives. Okay, now it wasn't pointless. Hold on. We're just two children pretending to be adults, aren't we? Jesus Christ. A long, long silence hangs in the air between us. The noise of the other patrons drinking and talking only makes the situation feel more strange and disconnected. Lily's face remains low, her dejected expression clouding it. I'm sorry, Hisao. A simple apology and no more. She's left entirely without any further response or comment. With a long sigh, I gather what's left of my thoughts and ask the final question I have for her. When will you be going? I'll be leaving with Akira, so it'll be a little less than a week. Jesus Christ. The beginning of summer holidays? Just a little afterward, yes. Her tone is unusually slow and steady, her apologetic and depressed mood all the more written to her face as she tries to hide it in her voice. In the end, I can't even keep my promise of going to Tanabata with her before she leaves. I look down, seeing my face reflected in my now lukewarm cup of neglected tea sitting in front of me. I really thought I'd left this kind of expression behind. For a while, I just stared down into the still surface, trying to sort through my emotions to get at what course of action I should take, whether it be right now or in the future. But just as before, the effort is wasted. I glance up to see Lily gently sipping her cooled tea without complaint, her face drawn and shoulders slumped. She looks to be deep in thought, too, a strangely cold atmosphere coming between us as we isolate ourselves to mull things over. Even as Lily's cup slowly empties, mine remains untouched. It's a long time before I notice the rain dying down outside and the few other patrons of the Shanghai having left. Oh God, we just skipped over here. The chill of the rapidly darkening of evening permeates the dormitory hallways. While trudging down the corridor to my room, I see an unwelcome movement from up ahead. Oh my God, I don't have the energy to deal with you right now. Sure enough, the opening of the door opposite mine heralds the arrival of a bespectacled Kenji. Hey man, what's... Oh, whoa, dude, you look awful, I think. Oh, you okay? He really has a knack for making any situation better. I don't really want to go into it. It's late. Okay, yeah, that's cool. If you ever want to talk about it, I'm, here. I look at him for a moment before surrendering my stern front and awkwardly scratching the back of my neck, embarrassed by my standoffish response to him. Thanks, Kenji. You're a real bro, you know that? Hey, it's cool. That's what friends are for, right? Yeah, you're right. See ya. I open the door to my own dorm room and close it behind me as quickly as he waves me off. Oh my Jesus, that's... The solid thud of the door makes... what the hell? The solid thud the door makes against the door frame sounds out a final call for the life I've led since coming to Yamaku. I just stand in my darkened room, fruitlessly attempting to work out what I should do from this point onwards. Just what should I do? Well, I'm sure... I don't know, man. Did I make all the wrong decisions? I might have. I'm not even surprised. Maybe there's something that we could do to have her be here. We'll go with her. Fuck it. Oh, that'd be pretty sweet. But I don't know if that's even gonna be a thing. I want the old girlfriend, boyfriend, friend leaving to another country / state, and you sticking behind, and us trying to figure out if we can maybe keep her here somehow. Of course that's how this is gonna go. It's probably gonna get way worse than it gets better. But hopefully it does get better. and hopefully I don't fuck up and make it all a feels real bad, man, because I would not be surprised if that's the case. We're already here. We're already here at the feels bad, man.